So I'm Autumn Hawkins from Lowkey R&B, and today we're here with Dende. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm good. So we briefly chatted off screen about you being from Houston and everything. So I just wanted to talk about how you got started in the music industry and when did you decide that this music was going to be your thing?
So I started like in music in general at a really young age. I was like in the choir and at church because my dad was a pastor, so I kind of was forced. Um, I took piano lessons as a kid. I joined the band. I was in the band from like sixth grade until sophomore year of college.
Mhm.
Um, and then I went to school on a vocal performance scholarship. Like I hadn't been in actual choir until freshman year of college, and I got a scholarship for singing, which is crazy. Um,
Wow.
but
Okay.
I started like actually making my own music like senior year of high school, but it was like jokes. It was all like joke music. And then freshman year of college, that's when I really started like taking it seriously.
Nice. So it was kind of like you got that introduction through church, which I feel like it's a good foundation for a lot of R&B singers, soul singers. Like the church is usually like the foundation, you know. So I get you with that one.
That's where
I
the
was also
singers are born.
yes, definitely. Yes, that is the foundation. So I want to get started right into your newest project, Pregnancy Pack. So how did you come up with this concept for this project?
Honestly, it was born out of not only like fans, but like friends telling me that I just need to make an R&B project because I
Mm,
sing and like my other projects, I sing on them, but like it's not straight up R&B. Like it's kind of my style. Like I mix rap, R&B, like alternative music together, and that's my sound. But people kept telling me to just make an R&B thing. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna give you R&B.
yeah,
Originally, I was gonna call this EP "Here's Some R&B, Leave Me Alone," but that's
I like
it's a little bit too abrasive, I guess. Um,
that.
um so me and my producer Billy Blunt, shout out Billy, because I keep telling everybody they think they like me, but they really like Billy, because he makes these songs sound amazing. Me and Billy came together and just made this project. And I was like, the one thing that I feel like R&B has is begging and then just sex. So I was like, we're gonna make this whole EP about sex. So that's really where it came from. And then I was like, and my personality is like I like to I wouldn't say shock, but I like to say things off of the wall like a lot. So I was like, we're gonna name it something that no one would name their project. So I called
Mhm.
it Pregnancy Pack. Like nobody would name their project Pregnancy Pack because it's just not a name that people would use. So I chose that name.
No, I love the name of the project too. Like when I first like heard the name, I did like when I first just heard the name of the project and I hadn't listened to it yet, I was like, oh, this is an interesting title. I was thinking about like, Drake's Certified Lover Boy with like the pregnant woman on the emojis on the cover and stuff like that, which is like a totally like different project, but like I really like the creativity of your name. And on
Appreciate it.
that, I had saw on Instagram that you had some type of like it was I guess like it's a rollout for your project with the condoms that said pregnancy pack on it. So how was it coming up with like those little like creative things to like promote your project?
So thankfully for me, up until like a couple months ago, I've been doing everything by myself.
Mm,
Thankfully for me now, I joined CXR.
mm,
With my good friends like Nashir, um, Chris Patrick, Noski. We're all on CXR, and we have a team around us that comes up with really good ideas. Because I'm the person that'll like come up with a really good idea on a whim and then just do it. But
mhm,
they're the type of people that'll be like, okay, before you do that, let's flesh this out and actually make it a thing.
mhm,
Um, so really, it was I can't take credit for any type of rollout that we've been doing because it's some of it is like an idea that I'll have, but most of the time it's like, hey, this is what we should do. How do you think we can make this better? Um,
mm.
and it's really just the team around me doing that stuff. So
Yeah, I
shout
saw
out
that
to
on your
CXR.
Instagram. It was really cool. I was like, "Oh, that's really interesting that they did that." I mean, obviously it matches with the music that you have on your project. So, a couple of my favorites from the project were your intro, Sherry, obviously Sex, and then Candy. So those were like my top three ones I really enjoyed. So of all the projects, I always think it's interesting how artists make the track list. So how did you come up with putting each song in order?
So when I made them, they were in a completely different order.
Mm-hmm.
Cherie was always the first song, one with Lily Aviana. Shout out Lily, one of my best friends and one of the greatest singers.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that one was always first because I was like, that's a good one because it's not completely about sex. Like it's like that's kind of a love song on the cool.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then we start getting into like I wouldn't say bump and grind, but it's like pretty much that. Like all the songs after that are like slow jams. And then we get to
Mm-hmm.
the end and it's like, all right, let's speed this up because we gotta end this. Like
Mm-hmm.
we gotta end what we got going. That's honestly what it was. We just kind of paced it. Like we got all the slow stroking songs out of the way. And then we're like, oh, we're gonna speed this up for the end.
Nice.
The actual last song that we made was Candy, which is the single.
Oh
Like
wow.
we were done with the EP. Me and Billy were done with 5 songs, and I was like, we need 6, bro. And then he sent me that instrumental, and I was like, all right, word. And we made that song. He sent it to me in the morning. I had it back to him like a rough version of it by like maybe noon or something. Like it was pretty fast, but the
Wow.
after
Yeah.
production is really what took a long time. But yeah, that's really how we kind of organized the songs. Was just yeah, I don't want to get too graphic, but that's pretty much what we were doing.
No, like it's a formula. It's like I get that now. Like I'm gonna like obviously re-listen to the project too, and just like, okay, now I understand. I always like think it's interesting like how artists put their songs in order because I'm just like, is it a story for you? It's like kind of like a feeling, and you're just like getting stuff out. Yeah, I like that. That was cool. And talking about Candy, that you just said that was the last track that you added to the project, the music video. So how did you work in the inspiration for the music video too? Like obviously in the song you talk about candy and stuff, and in the music video there's girls with like lollipops and stuff like that. So how did you come up with the concept for the music video as well?
Again, that's going back to the team.
Mm-hmm.
So we were like, we need to shoot a video for this song because it's the single.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Justin LA. He shot the video. Miz and Asia were basically the creative directors for the video.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I honestly had no part. I just showed up, which this is like, and which is very different for me because up until, like I said, up until now, I've done everything by myself. So every idea, literally everything I've ever done has been me doing it and me coming up with the idea and me planning it out. So really this like letting go and then letting people do what their job is like to
Mm-hmm.
do has kind of been hard for me. But yeah, I'm not taking any credit for anything. Like they did that. They came up with a really good idea for the treatment. Justin shot it and edited it and it made it look beautiful. That's really how that came about.
Yeah, I think that I liked the different scenes that you guys had in the music video too. It wasn't just like all kind of like just like the strip club scene. Like you had like kind of like a one-on-one with one of the models and stuff too. Is like I like the variation of shots that you guys chose. So I thought that was a really interesting too, especially with the lighting too. I really liked. The lighting was awesome.
I
And
actually flew to Jersey to shoot that video. Yeah, we
really?
shot that video in
Okay.
Jersey.
Do you remember where you were in Jersey? No, I
No,
know no one was gonna remember. I
absolutely
feel you.
not.
I feel you. So do you of the tracks on your project, do you have a personal favorite?
um I have 2 different types of favorites. So I have a favorite song and then I have a favorite song to perform.
Mhm.
Um Favorite song to perform is probably Cherie.
Sure.
Um Favorite song is gonna be On the Low. Shout out Byrie. I just love that song. Like the instrumental, Billy killed that instrumental. It's amazing. And then Byrie ate me up. Byrie ate me up on that song, man. Her verse is crazy.
That was a good
Killed
verse.
it. Yeah, so those are my 2 different types of favorites for sure.
And you noticed that I noticed that you kept saying that now you have a team and you're like delegating a lot of, creative to them and allowing them to, just, do their job, which I know it's a lot. It's hard for artists, like definitely in the beginning, to begin delegating when you've started this whole creative process like yourself. So with that, what do you think is what do you still like to keep to yourself? Do you think that like you probably it's a little bit hard to pull in the reins for someone to do? Does it come down to like your songwriting, or like you maybe do the next treatment for a music video, something like that?
Um, Definitely anything to do with more personal songs, because those songs are just all about sex. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I care about sex, but like for if for the people that have listened to my music before that, most of my music is like introspective and like really
Mm-hmm.
personal songs. So anything to do with that, it's probably gonna be really hard for me to let anyone else touch it. But
Mm-hmm.
we're just gonna see where that goes. That's pretty much it. I'm not opposed to people helping with writing, but I'm also, I'm a writer at heart. I started making music by writing poems. So
Mm-hmm.
like uh that's also a really personal thing for me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not opposed to having people help on that front though. But yeah, it's really just gonna be the more personal stuff that I'm probably gonna have trouble letting go of control.
Definitely, because who could tell your story better than you
one Hundred
know.
percent.
So I also wanted to talk about Pharrell like played your song on his podcast. How was that? How did that feel? Like I remember in the caption that you had put that he's one of your favorite producers. So how was it to have him honor you on his podcast?
Honestly, really cool stuff has been happening this past year, and this is probably my favorite one.
Mhm.
Every time it happens, I don't really believe it until I see it for real. Like I didn't even know. I got a text. I got a text from somebody that's on the team, Colin,
Mhm.
and he was like, "Did you see this?" I was like, "Yo, what?" Pharrell literally is. I made a list for my next album of like features and producers and like artists I want on it, and he was on the list at the one
Mhm.
of the top people on the list because I definitely
Yeah.
have always wanted to work with Pharrell. I've been a huge fan since I was a child.
Yes.
Um, it felt crazy because it's just like I do know that I'm out here doing this professionally, and I have been for a little while now. But when
Mhm.
I get validation like that from people that I've been listening to since I was a child, it makes
Yeah.
me feel like, oh, word, I'm doing something right.
Mhm.
Because I mean, as an artist, it kind of goes up and down. You're just like, am I doing this right? And then when you get somebody like Pharrell playing your music, it's crazy. So
Yeah.
it felt really ridiculous, honestly.
I couldn't even imagine that. Like when I saw that, I was like, wow. Like, especially like I said, told you before, like this is such a great project. And
Thank you.
I'm really happy that it happened for you, to be recognized by Pharrell. And I saw it too, like you've opened up for talents such as like Swali and Bun B and the Suffers and stuff. So how has that helped you as a new artist and pack those experiences to aid your furthering your career?
Honestly, it's really just the exposure definitely helps, but it's knowing that I can hold my own on the stage with people like that
Mm-hmm.
because they've been doing what I've been trying to do on a much larger scale for a long time. And to
Mm-hmm.
be able to go on the same stage as them and hold my own is validating. It's very self-validating because it's just like, oh, word, I'm good at this too. Because like really, people tell me they like my music, but when people go to my shows, they're like, this sounds even better than like the recorded version. So
Mm-hmm.
I really pride myself on my live performance. So to be able to hold my own with these people who also pride themselves on their live performance is really dope.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I totally I couldn't imagine like I personally I love Swally. So that's amazing. Like to have them, you know, trust you to do that too. And like, really give yourself that opportunity to, just practice, performing too. And it seems like you love performing as well. And I saw clips from your performances before too. And I feel like the audience really like captivates you and helps you like keep going and stuff. So like it's really awesome to see. I know you talked about like a future project, like what current artists or like artists that maybe you've grown up listening to that you also want to maybe collab with in the future?
Oh man, I've always wanted to make I definitely have always wanted to make a song with John Legend.
Ooh, that would sound nice.
Obviously I want Pharrell on a song. Um I want to make a song with Tobin Wigway. He's also from Houston, he's from the SWAT. I want to make a song with like newer artists. Isaiah Huron, he's amazing. I want to make music with him. Um, who else? Frank Ocean, of course. Um, who else we got? Big Crit. Big Crit is one of my favorite rappers of all time.
Mm.
I love Big Crit. There's a long list, honestly. I can keep doing this. And then just like the people that are my peers that I interact with on the internet like every single day. Some of them I don't have music with, and I want to make music with them.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think those collabs definitely help you as like a newer artist. And then also like sometimes, these artists like they get older and they kind of get like, forgotten about too. And then like they get more listeners that are, younger, and want to listen back to all of their music too. So I know you talked about before, like, you were in the choir, you were in and beginning your singing career. So what are some other like what hobbies do you have like outside of making music that maybe like your fans would be like, oh, I didn't know you did that,
Well, one they probably do know is I'm a huge fan of anime.
Oh, okay.
Literally almost all my tattoos are anime related. I can't really show them right now because some of them are under my shirt, but pretty much all my tattoos are like anime related. I love skits a lot. We're about to start getting into doing skits a lot more. That's just really fun. I like having fun and I like making jokes. So doing skits has always been one thing that I've always wanted to do. We've literally planned skits. Me and my two friends that I still like have been around since middle school, Manny and Trevor. We've planned skits since like middle school. And now we're like actually starting to do them. So that's another one. I like playing games. I'm not very good at them, except for like the adventure games like Zelda and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. I like Zelda.
Love Zelda. What else? That's about it. I like playing tennis. I haven't played tennis in a while, but I like tennis a lot.
Okay.
I like tennis a lot.
Tennis is a good, I don't play tennis, but tennis is a good workout. I like to
I love tennis.
sometimes just like actually play a game when I want to work out rather than just like in the gym, it's like more fun that way.
Yeah.
So what can we expect from you next? I know you talked about a future project, but I think a lot of people, honestly, after hearing your album, like or your project, will want to see you live. So is there, I know with the COVID restrictions and everything too, but are there any future tours that you're going to be having for Pregnancy Pack?
We working on it.
You working on it?
I'll say that we're working on it. I'm trying. We're gonna see what happens. As of right now, you can just expect more content surrounding Pregnancy Pack. I'm gonna make sure we get this to as many ears as possible because I do think that it deserves the light of day.
Yeah, definitely. It
It
does.
definitely deserves it because I do think me and Billy and all the features on there killed it. And we
Mm-hmm.
put our all into this project, so I want as many people as possible to hear it and see the stuff that's around it. And my team is working really hard, so we got to make sure that their work is not for nothing. So we gonna put as much content out as possible. That's what we should expect right now.
Yeah, definitely. So where can everyone follow you to like keep up with all of your new content?
If you want to look at pictures and stuff, you can go on Instagram. You follow me at I am Dende, IAMDENDE. If you want to laugh and have fun and maybe get uncomfortable, go to Twitter. My Twitter is Dende is me, DENDEISME. If you don't want to remember either one of those, you can just go to my website, imdende.com, and you can get on my music. You can look at pictures, you can look at show dates, you can look at merch, and you can find on my social media.
Also, thank you so much for talking with me today.
No, thank you.